Darius, great film. I loved it from
Thanks,
beginning to
Michael.
end. What brought you into this project? And it's just so good. I loved it.
Well, I really love intimate films, and I like films that are I'm really drawn to sincerity in movies, and kind of the audacity of sincerity and vulnerability. And this film, 13 years ago, I met Derek C in France, and it was the first thing we ever talked about because he was filming this metal band, and it was this couple, and I think it was this codependent relationship that drew me to it even more than I knew at the time.
Yeah. And it deals with a lot of different subject matters, especially you had mentioned one time last year at TIFF about addiction as
Yeah,
well, and the
yeah.
trials of addiction and growing. What was it about this that in order to get this right on film?
Well, it's a very tricky balance with this movie because you're actually showing addiction but never showing drugs,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
that's actually pretty hard to do.
Hmm.
It turns out it's hard because it's almost like the horror movie that doesn't show the monster, and I think that in a way you feel that sense of horror in the beginning of this movie, and that's very on purpose. And the monster is here, and it's always ready to, it's lurking. So the aspects of it, whether it's the hearing or it's the relationship or it's, the implants or all of these things, that these aspects, they're all part of the same thing.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and now and Riz's performance in this is just so good, and to me it's one of his best. What were some of the directions that you give to him in order to really bring the Ruben to life in this film?
Well, when you're dealing with with an actor of a talent level that Riz is, which is really, really high and sophisticated, well, I think one of the greatest gifts is the permission to fail, the permission to try things, and but also setting a bar of building a foundation. And that's the thing that Riz was willing to do, is to build the foundation of this character and to invest in that foundation for months and months and months before we shot, learning sign language. It wasn't a cerebral process, it was a physical process. And working with people in the deaf community, and working with local drummers and people and addicts, and he did that, he did all of that and more. So by the time he hit the set, what I could offer him was an experience that was about trusting himself. It was about trusting his own impulses. And I could be there for him in that. And I think that that's the best gift we can give an actor, I think, is that kind of freedom. And I also try to set up a set that's actor friendly, which is not always the case with film. So it's chronological. We shot chronologically, which means that every scene is following the scene before it. So you're living a progression, you know.
And I think that's what makes this film so great is the way it was shot. Doing chronological shooting really did bring a lot to this film. Thank you so much, Darius, for sitting with us and talking to us about the film.
Such a pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Thanks.
Take care.
You too.